Truth, I'm for the hour. Good to talk to diversity. We want to try to do something on a regular basis with them. We're going to try to work that out, so do stay tuned. Joining us now is none other, as always, the president and CEO of the oldest, the boldest, most cussed, most discussed civil rights organization in history, the Honorable Derrick Johnson, president and CEO of the NAACP. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Just fine. Always a pleasure to have you with us, and I know you're on the road. The news that broke the day after we were on last Tuesday was about the court ruling. So that's a victory. The ruling that the court gave on DACA, isn't it?
Huge victory. Over the last several months, the conversation around DACA has dominated public discourse, particularly with this administration's effort to completely abolish it. There were several lawsuits filed. In NAACP, we decided to file a lawsuit because we completely understand the impact of DACA is not only about Latin Americans, which we also support, but it was about African Caribbeans, Africans from the continent, and Afro-Latinos. So therefore, it affects our community just as much as it affects any other community. And as a result, we filed a lawsuit, and based on the ruling last week, unless this administration can comply with the court's ruling and give justifications for the program will be completely abolished. Not the program, I'm sorry, the administration's attempt to abolish the program, it will be completely thwarted, and it's a complete victory in this case.
So how long do they have to come up with this justification, Derrick?
They have 60 days.
60 days.
Come up with a justification in 60 days. And based on information that we have so far, unless they can create new facts to show that it was not racially motivated and or in strict compliance with the guarantees of our legal system, there is no justification. They intentionally designed a program that targeted individuals who simply complied with an agreement with this country that if they do certain things, this country will honor that agreement. That's called a contract. Any modern society is based on contractual law. And if the government seeks to break the contract, it erodes the ability of the government to maintain order.
Yeah. So, have you received any indication as to what the administration's response is going to be? Have you all got any signal? Will you all see it first and get an opportunity to respond to their justification?
For the legal proceedings, they will file it with the court, and at that point, we will have access to that, and of course, we can have our say. But this is an administration that's in chaos. It's obvious with the daily news occurrence. We see it this morning. Right now, it's a combination between the questions that the special counsel would like to advance to the president, to the fact that the chief of staff thinks that he's an idiot. We are having an administration that's in chaos. I tell anybody, you can't predict crazy, and what we have is crazy.
Well, Derrick, since you brought it up, and you're an attorney, I mean, to me, it is amazing that we are seeing the questions that the special counsel wants to ask the president. The very nature of those questions, to me, implicates him. I know if you send me some questions like that, I'll be trying to leave the country this morning.
Yeah, the fact that we have an administration and a presidency that we have a special counsel that's pretty much positioning this administration as being a treasonous administration, and that the very nature of what he has done is to try to obstruct an investigation on treason. This is unheard of. We have not seen this level of betrayal to this country since the Civil War, when racist white supremacists took arms against this country for a cause to maintain slavery.
Yeah.
That was a treasonous act then, and what we're seeing now is an investigation into a treasonous act.
Yeah. Derrick Johnson with us, folks, with the NAACP. Derrick, are you at liberty to talk about Starbucks? Is it true that they have reached out to the NAACP?
Rob, I had an initial meeting with an executive with Starbucks, but that's the extent of our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see what happens next. I understand that they're going to be taking some action, but I can't speak with any level of confidence or intelligence about what's taking place outside of an initial meeting. We are the largest organization to fight discrimination in this country. We have not been invited to have any real conversation around how the next steps should be taken.
Okay.
So that gives me pause, but I am also at a wait-and-see moment. And like any corporation, the question of discrimination will persist if it's not properly addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what happens next.
All right. Chiquisha Clemens down in Saraland, Alabama. Has there been any communication between you and the state conference in Alabama? Is the NAACP looking into that at all?
Absolutely. Me and Bernard Hamilton, Alabama State Conference president, our local branch president, we talked on last week. I then followed up with the state conference president and Ben Crump. Ben was going down to take a look at the case, to represent the Takesha and the family. We want to make sure that the outcome of this is something that restores the dignity of that young lady who was completely violated.
Right.
Violated in her ability to simply patronize a public establishment, violated by law enforcement officers who apparently got a kick out of disrobing her in public.
That's right.
So justice must be sought in this case. It's not only beneath the dignity of law enforcement to treat a human being this way, but there is no justification for treating a woman this way simply because she was asking for a plastic fork.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. We look forward to the results on that. Just and Derrick, I know your position is that we can't be uh, uh, ambulance chasers, of course, but then there are
Correct.
these crises that continue to pop up and pop up and pop up. We have now the mentally ill Somali Muslim immigrant, I believe, down in Georgia, um,
Mm-hmm.
Shakria. Have you all had a chance to look into that issue, that story as well?
We did some preliminary look into it. You know, that goes to the initial conversation. The Somali community, the Ethiopian
Right.
community, the Nigerian community is a part of the African diaspora.
That's
And
right.
when these issues pop up, we are called. In this case, we were called. So we're going to make sure we can do all we can to see that through. But the issues of mental illness in this country has not been addressed. In fact, when it's time to give rich people tax cuts, they cut the budgets for mental health
That's right.
programs
That's right.
nationally.
That's
We've
right.
seen it with Reagan, we're seeing it now, and as a result of that, we have individuals who should be treated not like criminals, but for the illness that they have, and allow for all of us to have a stable state society.
Now, no, you're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, Derrick, um, I don't know all the circumstances surrounding this, and I'm not being critical of those who call the police. But at some point, I mean, I think we need to advise our people that where we had, because this is not the first time we've seen a mental health situation like this. When it comes to mental health issues, the police are probably not who you want to call.
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
Or if you call them, they need to be individuals who've been trained on how to
Right.
assess and manage a situation where you have someone with mental health issues involved.
And that goes to your point. There ought to be resources in local communities to deal with that mental health professionals, mental health, first responders that are not armed. You know, I mean, we want to talk about a social service is needed. That's one that's worthwhile advocating for, isn't it?
I mean, law enforcement should join us lockstep because when you have mental health individuals untreated, it puts everyone in danger. Not that they want to cause danger, they don't have the facility to provide themselves the right judgments to govern themselves. It puts everyone in danger.
I got one more question. Are you about to board, or can you have one more time for one more?
I got time.
Okay. Thomas Farr, what's the latest? We have him and these other judges who don't even want to take a position on whether or not Brown versus Board was a good decision.
If there was ever a state of crisis in the current political landscape, it is the rapid pace by which this administration and this Senate are appointing or nominating and confirming individuals who are not only woefully qualified based on their legal background, but woefully inept in terms of the progress this country has made. So you have individuals who seek to undermine the current rule of law and create a more segregated society. Thomas Farr, just like Vitter, just like many other Trump nominees, fit that mold.
Vitter literally, I think, was put on the spot and asked what her position was on Brown v. Board, and she literally would not commit.
One of the most, if not the most important decisions in this nation's history.
Yeah.
And she could not commit to that. That should give everyone pause. That is our state of crisis. That's why we say every week, take a pledge to vote. 40649, because until we change the composition of policymakers like U.S. senators, we will continue to be faced with these individuals who will sit on the court for a lifetime. We're talking about individuals who will be there for 20, 30, 40 years. That's the problem.
No, that's scary. Also, the latest tweet, you all can see it on the screen if you're watching our stream, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Make it plain. Trump administration is trying to remake the federal courts one judicial appointment at a time in the hostile forms where justice is nowhere to be found. These are lifetime positions that will last a generation. We're going to keep our eyes on what the court is going to do with regards to, the ball's in the administration's court now. They've got 60 days, now less than 60 days, to give a legal justification for the repeal of DACA. So we will see, what comes of that. As His President Johnson has said, though, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to text NAACP to 40649. Text NAACP to 40649 and take the pledge to vote. 40649. Do it right now, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. Text NAACP to 40649. Take that pledge to vote. Derrick Johnson, folks, the president of the NAACP. Derrick, thanks, man, and safe travels to you, buddy, okay?
Take care. Thank you.
All right, and we'll talk next week. All right.